I think when you open that box and let them realize that, okay, you can play what's on the score, but you also have permission to play away from the score and add to it, that gives that element of curiosity, is what you were talking about, and also that feeling of fun and also ownership.
Yes.
And I think the more I let students decide what is going to happen in the lesson, even though I'm really pushing my agenda, they will come back for more.
This clip is from the Piano Inspires podcast, Season 2.
Episode 22, featuring Leila Viss with host Andrea McAllister.
It seems as though 20 years ago, this idea of playing pop music and playing from a lead sheet or playing for choirs, churches, bands, things like that, weren't talked about as much as standard foundational pedagogy. Have you seen a bigger shift in the last 5 years or so around this topic? And how much work do we still have to do?
Oh, it's majorly shifted. I would say it's a completely different mindset for teaching in my circle. I don't know what academics are like. You would probably know better. A lot of it had to do also with Philip Johnston's book, which I read, and I'm not going to be able to tell you the title, but it has everything to do with how to have a dazzling studio. He's got this big, long name for it. I think you know what I'm talking about. But that really revolutionized how I thought about things too, because going back to like, do I really want to teach? I read his book and I thought, you know what? If I'm going to do this job, I'm going to have fun. This is my business. So I don't have to have anybody telling me what to do. I can figure that out for myself. So I think that's when I started doing the off-bench things. And from day one, I was always integrating technology because I had to go visit other people's studios and see what they were doing. And two long-time MTNA members, Phyllis Pfeiffer for one, and Elaine Wagner, they both used computers and computer programs alongside their teaching. And this was back in the day, where there is a blinking cursor. You put in the hard disk, like we're talking a long time ago. Yes. And then CD-ROMs came along and that was better. And then when the iPad came, that really, again, I'm using overusing that word, revolutionized my teaching again. But the point being, I decided I was going to have fun teaching. And actually I just learned that we don't have fun, we feel fun. And
I love that.
Isn't that good? Catherine Price has an amazing TED Talk on fun. Okay. And we can have artificial fun and we can have the feeling of fun. And I think when I brought that feeling of fun to my teaching, then of course that's going to rub off on your students as well.
And so they can feel fun too, and the joy of making music. Yeah. Well, I was poking around your website because I saw composiums and I thought, what are composiums? But I printed out your mission because I love how you say this. So straight from your website, it says, my mission as a musician and teacher. 1, to equip students with skills that will turn them into lifelong musicians. And 2, to equip teachers with tech-savvy and clever tools that inspire their lessons. As life would have it, I found the need for 2 mantras, take courage and genuine over perfect. So let's start with your students. You give them this feel of fun. They can feel fun. You mentioned a student who was playing Beethoven and Chopin, but then also playing in a band. How much work do you think it takes now in the age where everybody's so busy and they've got all these other commitments to help them feel fun?
I think it's a matter of the spontaneity. And my students arrive and they don't necessarily know what's up with Miss Leila this week. They just don't know, because I'll probably have some kind of surprise. I do, I don't know, cup dances, or I'll have a lead sheet. Like I have these 2 girls who come together. I usually have students that come 2 at a time because one is working off bench and one is on. And I said, hey, we're working on this lead sheet. How about if one of you vamps and the other of you plays the melody. And then how about if you add a few little notes, fill notes in the melody, and then suddenly they had this beautiful duet. And now I'm having them, or they wanted to play a duet. And I said, well, how about if you learn the same piece together? And then how about if you craft your own duet from it? Mm-hmm. And so there's always this, what if you, and I think when you open that box and let them realize that, okay, you can play what's on the score, but you also have permission to play away from the score and add to it, that gives that element of curiosity, is what you were talking about, and also that feeling of fun and also ownership.
Yes.
And I think the more I let students decide what is going to happen in the lesson, even though I'm really pushing my agenda, they will come back for more.
Mm-hmm. And I really think that goes back to the take courage part, and the perfection part as well, because it takes a lot of courage, I think. And speaking from a mother of a 13 and 15-year-old right now, where
you have lots of courage right now,
where it's the pressure to be perfect and the pressure to the social pressures. There is a lot of courage that has to happen every day to just walk in that school, but the courage it takes to just play at the piano, because there can be mistakes, or I might not do this right. So it sounds like you are modeling such a wonderful, courageous environment where students can feel free to not be perfect.
Yeah. What's fun is I've had Ethan since, I don't know, he was 7 or 8, and he is totally into chords. He loves chords and harmony. And I love it that I've groomed a harmony geek, and he is so happy playing with the band at his church. And my goal is to keep him playing, and we will do whatever it takes. Ethan, do you like this? I really, really work hard on finding things that he likes to keep him there, because he is such a happy pianist, and I think that is the goal, is giving them the direction that they want to take. And then I have others that really want to play in, a festival and want to work hard on memorizing a piece, and they want the classics. Yes. So I'm so thankful for my classical roots, so that I can take people along that discipline. And that has shown me so much of, what's necessary to play the piano. But man, if I didn't have those crossover skills, it just wouldn't be nearly as fun.
And it is about feeling fun.
It is.
Be sure to listen to the full episode on our website, pianoinspires.com, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.